What is going on, guys? Xtimus here. So today I'm going to be showing you the new Summoning Druid for patch 2.4. We're going to be going over some gameplay, the skill tree, attributes, and all of the itemization. So make sure you check out the description below if you want to skip to whatever part of the video you want to see. So starting off with the itemization, we're going to start with the weapon here. I suggest that you guys try to get Islestrike. This is really nice because it has 2 to all druid skill levels, and this is really going to help out the summons, and it has 25% chance of crushing blow, which is going to help out your melee damage there. Another suggestion that I have is Fleshrender. This is also really nice because it has crushing blow as well and druid skill levels. So these are both really cheap items in the trading community, and they're perfect for this build because they have really nice melee damage and skill levels. A few other options are Spirit if you're just starting off with your character. You're gonna eventually want to try to get something that does some sort of melee damage though, but the 2 plus to all skills is really going to help out your summons. There are some other options as well, such as Flesh Ripper. This is really nice again for the crushing blow, deadly strike, and chance of open wounds. And eventually, if you try to get really to end game with this character in the itemization, you could try to go for Beast. I really don't suggest that you try to spend too much investing into this character because summoning druids really aren't good at clearing speed around players 8 or anything that's real end game. This build is really good for beginners and just doing normal gameplay in Diablo 2, but if you're really trying to do something like extremely fast clearing speed and really trying to kill bosses in certain areas in the game, even if you have all the best in-slot gear for this character, you're not going to have really fast clearing speed. So moving on here with the items, I'm using Jalals. This is really good for the skill levels and resistances. There's a few other options as well. Ravenlore is really nice because it has 7 skills to Raven, and Raven is now really effective in 2.4. And you could also use this to pre-buff your Raven. So if you're using Jalas and maybe you have this in your inventory and you just want to be more effective with your summons, you could just put this on real quick, cast a few Ravens, and then put your Jalas back on just to get those extra skill levels on your Raven. And there's other options as well. Anything that has plus to all skills is really going to help you out really well. And you really don't need to overthink the itemization on this build too much. Just anything that's going to help out with the summons, basically just skill levels and some melee damage stuff like crushing blow, is really going to make this character really effective, and you just don't have to overthink too much about the itemization. And moving on here with the amulet, I'm using Angelic Wings and then the Angelic Ring. This is really good for the attack rating when you have both of them on. You also get some really nice dexterity and 75 to life. The attack rating is really going to help you out so you can get more attacks on monsters, and it just increases your melee damage. And the other ring I'm using is Raven Frost. This is just really nice for even more attack rating, dexterity, and you really need to have Cannot Be Frozen on any character that does melee. And for the boots, I'm using Gore Riders. Again, this is really nice for the crushing blow and a few other melee stats there. You really don't have to worry too much about doing a whole lot of melee damage. For example, if you just want to go around and completely change your character and just put on a bunch of magic find stuff, and if you just want to be lazy, you could just have your summons do all of the work for you. And if you really just want to play the character, you could just start running around and using bear form and just attacking and using melee. So it's really up to you, whatever you want to do. And I'm using Immortal King's Belt. This is really nice for the resistances: 31 lightning resistance, 28 to fire resist, and you also get a huge boost to strength, so you can save on some attribute points when you're trying to get enough strength to use Spirit. And for the gloves, I'm using Laying of Hands. This is really nice for the 350% damage to demons. On Switch, I'm using a Call to Arms and a Spirit to get some extra skill levels for battle orders and battle command. In the inventory, I'm using Summoning Skill Grand Charms, an Annie, and a Torch. I also have a 3 to Summoning Skills Druid Magic Amulet. This is something that you can gamble from the merchants. This is really nice for your character. It would be really effective. Even if you're not using it, you could just put it on real quick and then cast all of your summons and then put whatever amulet that you originally had on, just so you can get some extra skill levels for your summons. And for the armor, I'm using Duress. This is really nice because it has a nice boost to resistances and chance of crushing blow, so it's really going to help out your melee damage. There are some other options as well. You don't have to use Duress. You could just put on skill level items such as the Spirit Shroud right here. It's really up to you. Like I said, if you just want to continue to do melee damage or just have your summons do all of the work for you, the Spirit Shroud is really nice to start off, and then you can move up to the Vipermagi and even Enigma if you want. I really don't recommend trying to spend too much on trying to get something like Enigma for this build, because as I said before, it's just not really good at endgame even if you have all of the best gear. For the Mercenary, there's 3 different options, and my recommendation is to use a Act 5 Mercenary with Frenzy and use Lawbringer. This is really good because it has a chance to cast a level 15 Decrepify on striking and a level 18 Sanctuary aura when equipped, and this will give your minions about 500 enhanced damage to undead monsters. Many players will recommend Reaper's Toll, and I think that's a great choice. I just think Lawbringer is better. If you do use Lawbringer, you could use an Act 2 Mercenary, and you can choose either a Might aura, which will give you enhanced damage, or Blessed Aim aura, which will give you more attack rating. Another very cheap option is the Act 5 Mercenary that uses 2-handed swords, and you could use the Vile Husk. This will give you a chance to cast a level 1 amplified damage on striking. This will reduce the physical resistance on monsters by 100%. And for all 3 mercenaries, I recommend that you use Treachery for the armor and Endarials for the helmet. You could also take a Perfect Emerald, a Pull Rune, and a Lum Rune and upgrade the sword. And I put a Shale Rune in there, and he has really fast attack speed, so he's going to be casting amplified damage a lot. For the armor, I'm using Treachery, and this is really nice for the Fade because it gives a huge boost to physical resistance, which is actually hidden in the game. It also has a lot of increased attack speed, so this is really going to help out getting more amplified damage curses going there. And for the helmet, I'm using Endarials. Again, this also has increased attack speed as well, and it has a lot of life stolen per hit. So combining all 3 of these together allows for a lot more damage for the summons, and you're going to be casting that amplified damage a lot because of the huge boost to increase attack speed on all of the items. And then as far as the skill tree goes, for shapeshifting, you're going to be doing some melee damage, so you want to make sure you put 1 point into all these skills right here. You could check out the screen right here, or check out the description below and just check out where to put your points in your skill tree. And for summoning skills, we're just going to talk about this. So we put 20 points into Raven. This is new in 2.4 because Ravens do a lot more damage now, so they're really effective. So 20 points into Raven, 20 points in the Summon Spirit Wolf, 20 points in the Summon Dire Wolf, and 20 points in the Summon Grizzly. And then we want to put the rest of our points into Heart of Wolverine. And then as far as the attributes go, you put enough points into Strength to use your gear, enough points into Dexterity to use your gear, and then put the rest of your points into Vitality and Energy Nut. So now we're going to get into some gameplay, and like I said before with the itemization here, it's really up to you how you want to play this character. If you want to just stand around and let your summons do all of the work, you could just get a bunch of items that have skill points such as plus the druid skill levels, and you could just stand around and let your summons do all the work. And if you really want to start doing some melee damage and you just want to start actually playing the game, you could just go into bear form and just get more items that have crushing blow and things like that. So it's really up to you how you want to play this character. And as I said before, if you're someone that's new to Diablo 2, or if you have a friend that's a beginner, you could basically just put any gear on and this character is still going to be effective. So basically how to play this character here, the hotkeys are pretty confusing. And one thing that you're probably going to want to do is you're going to want to go to your options here, and you're going to want to go to controls, and you're going to want to add more F keys. So probably around, I think, F9, you just click right here, and then you hit F9, and then you hit F10, and then 11, and then 12. That's just so you can have more hotkeys. And then I suggest you go around in Werebear form. I don't really recommend Werewolf because you're still just not going to be doing very much damage, and I like to have more survivability, so I just stay in Werebear form. And then on my left, I have Maul, and then I use Shockwave every now and then if I want to stun the enemies around the area. But for the most part, I just use Maul, and I just attack randomly. Alright, so let's just get into some gameplay. So as I said before, you could just see right here, if you ever just want to stand around and just literally do nothing, you can just have the summons do all of the work for you. But if you really get bored, you can just start attacking and help them out, do some damage. So pretty easy to play. One thing you'll have to do is just watch your summons up here on the left and see if any of them died, and then you just resummon them. Your Heart of the Wolverine will die a lot, so I would just make sure that there's the spirit icon up there because that's really important for your damage. This is basically what the character is like when you're playing through Diablo 2. It's just really easy, really good clearing speed. Just don't try to do anything like Veil Runs or Chaos Sanctuary, because it's just really going to take a long time to get through areas like that. Then you always just want to watch the health of your minion and make sure that if any of them died, you just resummon them. You can see that the spirit is about to die, so I just casted another one so he goes back to full health. So it's just very basic and easy to play, and as I said before, if you're new to Diablo 2, you could just be casting your summons and then just stand around and let them do all the work for you. And sometimes I just use Shockwave if I want to get some stuns going on right there and just help with the survivability of my minions. Mainly just staying back and relaxing and just letting your minions do the work. Alright, well that's about it for this video, guys, so make sure you subscribe if you want to keep up with Diablo 2 content. I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys on the next video.